So I'm not coming between you and pizza, but I will make this quick. And I have bought the right to speak to you because all the pizza tonight, but not anything else, is courtesy Juiced.GS, your #1 print publication dedicated to the Apple II community. Not just dedicated to the Apple II, but to the Apple II community, because the magazine is by you and for you. Yay. So we have been publishing for 21 years. That's why I have 21 apples up there. Once I assembled them all, it was rather intimidating to see them all glowering at me. I don't know what they're going to do next. But I want to talk a little bit about where Juiced.GS has been and where it's going. At this time last year, I talked about how I had gone to the Charles Babbage Institute at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis. They are one of the 10 archives in the world that archives the complete collection of Juiced.GS. In fact, one of those archives is here tonight. Hi, Jason. Hey. So I got to meet one of the archivists last year, and he actually showed me where in that massive Raiders of the Lost Ark-like warehouse he keeps Juiced.GS. He knew exactly where it was, walked right down the aisle, pulled it out, and there it was. I made some similar visits recently. Back in December, Mr. Martin Hay invited me to go to the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California, formerly of Boston, Massachusetts. I'd never been there before. I saw an Apple I. Was actually not as impressed as I look in this photo because I'd seen Apple I here, not behind glass, and actually got to use it, which was amazing. So KansasFest is better than the Computer History Museum. Think about that. While we were there, we were actually attending a conference that was right next to Waz Way, which was awesome. It unfortunately did not lead to Kansas City, so I think it's slightly mislabeled. And then, so Computer History Museum is one of the other 10 archives. And then just last week, with a former KansasFest attendee, Olivier Gonard, I went to the Living Computer Museum in Seattle, Washington, which just opened 4 years ago. In fact, Peter Neubauer was one of the first attendees, and he wrote a great write-up about it for Juiced.GS Volume 17. And Michael Mulhern of the Retro Computing Roundtable just live tweeted his visit to the Living Computer Museum 2 weeks ago on his trip from Australia, which was amazing. I did not get to meet the archivists at either of these institutions, but I did get to see some of their library, and I did see something I recognized, not Juiced.GS, but Dr. Steve Wyrick's own book on the sophistication and simplicity. Donated by Juiced.GS, actually, so yay. We are everywhere. We have our fingers in everything. So Juiced.GS is being archived in hard copy, which is the way it's intended to be read, and we've been doing some really interesting things with our hard copy edition in the past few years. Last year, I showed you, for example, our first wraparound covers that are the front and the back, and it was also our first variant covers where we had 2 different editions that you could buy. I actually meant to bring down another edition that I have. It's up in my room. I'll have to show it to you later. Also, in the past year, we included a floppy disk, which was only the 2nd time ever we've included a 5¼ floppy disk in our magazine. The first time being courtesy Daniel and Melissa and Wade Clark and who else? Antoine. Yes, the 4 of them created the Drift disk that we included like 4 or 5 years ago, and that was such a great collaboration that we collaborated with other team members to make this one. This one was the product of Juiced.GS with David Schmidt and Dagan Brock and Brian Peachy and Martin Hay and the French Touch and Dagan Brock again. So many moving parts to this. The software on both sides, our first double-sided floppy, the custom label. It was a great collaboration. And it just went right into your Apple II. You boot it up, and it worked great. There is a disk image available for those who want it. I never actually advertised that, but it is free. Some people who received the floppy in the mail damaged because we didn't properly package it. And that was a knowing risk that we took because we don't have the money to properly package that many hundreds of floppies. About less than 1% arrived damaged, and replacing those was cheaper than properly packaging all hundreds of them. There was one person on Facebook who said that we should either do it right or not do it at all, and that person has never been a subscriber. So as far as he's concerned, and he also said he never will be a subscriber. So I'm like, great, I wouldn't have taken your money anyway. So I'm glad we're on the same page. Also in the past year, Juiced.GS became not just a software, we didn't just include software in our magazine, we actually became a publisher and distributor when we collaborated with the Byteworks to bring back onto the market Opus 2. This is the complete collection of everything the ByteWorks ever created. That is the software, and then the source is their source code. The ByteWorks is one of the premier developers of programming utilities for the Apple II. They also create other stuff like Quick-Click Calc, an Apple II.GS spreadsheet, Quick-Click Morph, a video or image editing program for the Apple II that allows you to morph one image into the other. It's really cool and it's really cheap. $25 for each per disk, or $40 for the pair as a downloadable disk image. First time it's ever been available in a digital distribution mechanism. You can also get it on CD and USB. I don't know why people are still ordering it on CD. It's such a pain in the ass to burn, but if you want it, I'll burn it. So you have that option. One of the reasons we've been able to become a distributor of software like that is because we did a complete remake and remodel of our online store. We switched to an emerging standard called WooCommerce, and this is our 4th online store in the last like 8 years. And this is going to be the last one that we ever use because it is great. It has so many fantastic features. The first of which, and the most important of which that we've been using, is automatic renewals. We've never had this before. Every year I have to send postcards and flyers and reminders and phone calls and carrier pigeons telling people that they forgot to give me $19 for the next year. And they need to if they want to keep getting their issues after December. And some people don't remember until like the next KFest. They're like, how come I haven't gotten the last 2 issues? And I'm like, because I don't mail magazines for free. So now you can just sign up once, and I don't get your credit card information, but it is stored on PayPal or Stripe or Amazon, and every January 1st, bam, you get charged again, and your subscription is active. You can even log in to Juiced.GS and find out if your subscription is active or not and will be renewed. So that is a huge savings of effort for you guys and for me. And that is why I have some other news I want to share. Our subscriber numbers I have shared a couple of times over the years. This starts way back in 2004, and you can see that wasn't going that well. And even KansasFest wasn't doing that well back then, but then the Apple II community in general just experienced a great big surge in popularity. I think that spike might be when Steve Jobs died. And it just keeps going up. And I came to KFest last year with slightly fewer subscribers than I ended the previous year with. And I said I wouldn't print for another year unless we got that number up. And it went up, and it got really high, actually. And it's even higher this year. I don't know if my, yeah, there we go. So that's where we are right now. So like last year, it would have been like right here. But this year, we're well above where we ended last year. And we still have another 6 months to take in new subscriptions, which is great. So that's like 10 consecutive years of growth. We've almost quadrupled our subscriber base from its lowest point, which is very encouraging. So 21 years of Juiced.GS so far. We are now an adult. I mean, we've been able to vote for a while, but now we can also drink, which is great, because after 21 years of Juiced.GS, I need a drink, honestly. But where do we go from there? We go to a 22nd year. So we'll be back in 2017. Yay! Let's see, the one piece of bad news I have, well, first of all, postage rates have actually, they've been going up pretty steadily. This year, actually, they went down a little bit. 2 years ago, the USPS instituted what they called a 2-year postage hike. I'm like, yeah, right. But it actually stayed at 2 years. And I guess I have no idea what's happening anymore. So postage rates for like international subscribers. Let me see if I can go back here. No? Maybe? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so postage rates started for international subscribers when I took over as publisher at $2.70 per issue, and now it's $4.16, which is almost double. Mexicans and Canadian subscribers have gone up about double, and domestic subscribers have only gone from $1.14 to $1.36, which is not that much. So that's one of the reasons that Juiced.GS subscription prices have stayed fairly constant over the years. So when the magazine launched in 1996, it was $14 for the United States, $20 for everywhere else. We've been instituting price hikes as required or as necessary. We didn't stop printing in 2003. What's going on here? Hello?
Well, we did, but we just didn't.
Well, my point was going to be that we have not raised prices for United States customers in about 10 years. And we've not instituted a price hike for international subscribers in like 7 years. And subscribers in Mexico and Canada, prices have actually gone down in the last 6 years because we never had a rate just for them, but now we do. So the only bad news I have now is that subscription prices are staying exactly the same. They're not going up. But what is happening is that I'm not offering KansasFest attendees a $1 discount anymore. Or, I'm sorry, subscription prices are going up $1 and you all get a $1 discount. So I will be at the vendor fair on Saturday selling subscriptions. If you want the automatic renewing subscription, though, I can't process those in person. I'll have a station set up, a laptop that you can do it online, and that way your credit card information gets stored. If you want to buy just a 1-year subscription, either 2016 or 2017, one that will not automatically renew on January 1st, I can process those in person with cash, check, or credit card. But I do encourage you to get the automatic renewing subscription, and you'll be able to do that online at the vendor fair or before then or anytime afterward at Juiced.GS. Any questions? All right, Juiced.GS is going great. I've always said that we need 3 things: content, writers, and readers. Our reader numbers, as you saw, are huge. We've almost quadrupled them. Our writers, we featured a ton of great bylines, brand new in the past few years. We had Quinn write our KansasFest coverage last year, which is amazing. Carrington is writing it this year. Right, and we need another Canadian to write it next year. So maybe Jeremy, where are you? Great, there you go. We had Kate write a story just the other day, and as I told her, her name came up in the staff meeting as somebody we want to see more of. Michael Mulhern wrote our Oz KFest coverage, and we just had Sean McNamara write the WazFest coverage, and we have Antoine Vignal, who's written for us before, writing some more articles. I would love to see even more pieces come in. I've already hit up Melissa and Dan. I want to see their bylines in future issues. I want to see more from Steve, who hasn't written for us in years. I want to see Chris Torrance make his debut. Jeff Weiss had a great idea the other day. It's about time we get him back in print, because even though he's on staff and reads every single issue and is a great contributor to the editing, I haven't assigned him an article in a while, so I need to work on that. So sorry, Jeff. And everybody else who's here, if I can see you, I want you writing for Juiced.GS. So send me a pitch and enjoy the pizza.